Hello, everybody, and welcome to We Take You Places, the podcast for international students at the University of Marburg. In today's episode, we want to talk about something that is even more important than term papers and exams: your mental health. Students are especially vulnerable to mental health struggles as they're often living away from home for the first time and immediately have to juggle many new things all at once. The pressures of adult life, the strive to perform well in uni, the new social environment, and maybe the need to work a job as well. And we know that international students face additional challenges on top of this: becoming accustomed to life in a new, foreign country, having to speak and write in languages that are oftentimes not the mother tongue, being and feeling so far away from home, and trying to stay in touch with friends and family. But luckily, there are ways to care for your mental health, and in a moment, Polina will introduce a few options available to you, so stay tuned.
Hi, my name's Polina, and today we're going to talk to you about a very important topic for everyone, but especially for students: mental health. Studying can be stressful, and students can suffer from a lot of difficulties: managing your workload and dealing with burnout, stressful examination periods, and struggling with the long-term assignments. International students are affected by this like everyone else, but they can also feel alone being so far away from their families and adjusting to a new culture. And the cold and grey German winters can be difficult as well. But don't worry, many students have to deal with any number of these challenges, so you are not alone. And you do not have to go through this on your own as well. Our university offers several services that can help in times of mental stress, and today I want to introduce you to some of them. The first option that you have at University of Marburg is to go to a psychotherapeutic counseling center for students. You can find it in the Mensa Ellenring. But before you go there, check their website where you can find some more information. And here with me today is the founder of the Psychological Center and an active psychotherapist, Dr. Peter Martin Nord. Hi, thanks for being here with us today. Could you please introduce yourself briefly?
Hello. My name is Peter Martin Nord. I was studying here in Marburg for several years before coming to the clinical psychology, and I was mandated here in the psychotherapeutic counseling center to do advisory tasks for students.
Yeah. So tell us about this psychotherapeutic center. What is it? What is it for?
Well, it's a cooperation between the UKGM, the clinic here in Marburg in Gießen, as well as the university and the Studentenwerk. And this cooperation project is meant to give people opportunity to get some advice in terms of psychological well-being or stress or anxiety or depressive disorders, or maybe just disturbances.
Yeah. So you already spoke a little bit about this, but what is like the most frequent problem that students come to you with?
Well, the most frequent problem is definitely stress-related issues. People that have a tough time to concentrate or to get a sleep on a regular basis, mostly in terms of how to get along with all the hassles that are there in a study that you have to do to get your study going. This is the most part, I think.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, it's also anxiety issues and depressive mood disorders, things like that are the most common things.
Yeah. But theoretically, can I ask anything? Like if I have a problem with my partner, for example, I can also come to you.
You can come to me and to my colleague, Mrs. Ziegler. I just forgot to mention her too. You can come with any issue that's related to some sort of psychological issue, you know?
Yeah.
Yes.
How do I make an appointment with you?
We are recommending to do it via the telephone, just to leave a message on the answering machine, or get to us in contact in person. That's also possible. Just drop by the offices we have here in the Mensas in Marburg. And you can also write an email, which is, in terms of anonymity, not the best solution, but still it's possible. Just write an email, give us a call, or drop by the office and ask for an appointment. That's it.
So I can also get help anonymously?
Yeah. That's the most important thing here. And this has to be stressed out. There's no collection of personal data whatsoever. That's very important. We have to document what we are talking about, but it will be never mentioned in any relation to your name. You don't have to give us our name, but if you do, we won't write it down, because anonymity is so very important in this kind of work.
Yeah. I also know that you have also these group sessions.
Right.
So I can talk to you privately, like face to face,
Mm-hmm.
just to people, or I can go to the group. I just wanted you to tell more about this group session things. I understand that it's not possible to do anonymously anymore if you're in the group.
Mm-hmm.
But what kind of problems can I work in the group?
We have 4 different topics for the groups we just started to do. And the first one is also a very common problem, procrastination. Then there are stress-related issues in another group, as well as depressive thoughts and depressive moods. And finally, we have something about, I don't know how to say this in English. In German, it's called Klimagefühle. Any psychological problems that stems from, dealing with the climate change and all the crises that are around the world. And this is our 4th offer in this regard.
Another question would be, can I also talk to you online?
Well, that's also possible, but still you need to make an appointment. Mm-hmm. For this, it's also possible to do it from door to door here at the offices, or via email or telephone. You just get an access code, some sort of, and just some numbers and letters, and just a smartphone is sufficiently. You get a link, mm-hmm. and you get this password, and then we can talk. Mm-hmm. It's easy.
How many sessions am I allowed to have? So if I want to talk to you face to face, just me and you, how many sessions can I have with you?
Well, it depends. Important thing to stress out is that we don't offer any therapy here in a common sense. We're just doing counseling. And on the other hand, if people have harsher issues, that are not easily solved, most of the time it's not easy to solve them, but if we are under the impression that it makes sense to keep up the sessions, we will do this for up to 5 to 6 sessions, I think, if necessary, But even if there is an indication for psychotherapy, we allow the people to get back to, talk about things going forward or things that are difficult to do. Because if there's an indication for therapy, there are certain issues that have some dynamics. So it's very important to be there for the people. 5 to 6 sessions is okay, but we try to keep it as short as possible because we have lots of requests to deal with. So,
is it only in German?
No, we can also talk in English, but that's it. Just German and English. My colleague and I, we are not able to speak any other languages sufficiently.
It's still very good because most of international students can speak English, I think, and it's already...
Gladly enough, right, yes. We could also switch back and forth, no problem.
Okay, the last but not least, as a professional, could you give us and our listeners some example on how we can work on our mental health at home? What are like the most obvious mistakes that people do?
Well, that's one of the mistakes, to focus on the mistakes and to dwell on what has been gone wrong, what have I done wrong, things like this. This is the worst mistake, to dwell on the mistakes. I think one really good hint is to be there for yourself, Ask yourself, what is it that I need to be able to perform on this high level? people coming to Germany to start a study, they have lots of talent, and a lot of high abilities. On the other hand, they are very keen to perform. But it's very, very important to keep that in balance, I think this just takes time, and sometimes it takes a lot of work to accomplish that. And that's what the most common mistake is in my eyes, that people are forgetting to look after themselves over the keenness to perform and to get certain grades or something.
Yeah, especially I think for international students, this is a very big problem.
Yes,
They're
it
really
is.
trying very
It
hard.
is, yeah. Because you have a certain time to stay here in Germany. You have to be there on the point. Otherwise, you won't be able to study here. There's a lot of pressure. Parents,
they're expecting from you.
Yeah, they're expecting from you, and this is also coming up on top. And this can be very, very hard. And so it is even more important to have sometimes a day, maybe just half an hour, 5 minutes in between, and on the weekends or even in the evening, just to cut that all out, just be there for yourself and ask yourself, what is it that I need to get in an, balanced mood? Could be dancing in your living room, or it can be cooking a tea, or doing, relaxation techniques, or meet with friends. Even sometimes have a drink in the evening with some friends can be very, very relaxing. But another important thing is a sufficient body movement, some exercises, or just long walks to get your body in action. This is very, very good for letting off some steam, get rid of the tension that is accumulating over days like one of these days.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your help.
You're very welcome.
Thank you for being here with us today, and we'll see you around. Bye.
Looking forward to you.
All right, that was very helpful. But what does psychotherapeutic counseling look like from students' perspective? To find out a bit more, I invited Danny to our studio today. Hey Danny, thanks for being here with us today. Could you please introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi Polina, my name is Danny. I'm a medical student at the Philipps-Universität in Marburg, and next semester I'm going to be in the 7th semester. So, yeah.
How did you find out about the psychotherapeutic counseling?
I looked it up on the internet, basically. It was the time during my first state exam, the Physikum, where I was just looking for some extra support, some help, because there are a lot of stressors involved with writing an exam as big as this one.
Yeah. And what services did they offer?
So they offer a group, a kind of workshop, I would say, and this revolves around what are the stressors and how can we find balance outside of this kind of stressful path.
Yeah. In which offers did you participate?
So I took up the one-on-one counseling once, which is around 20 to 30 minutes. And then there are five sessions, I think, for the group workshop every week once.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And how did you participate? Like, what do you do then?
So basically, you sit around in a circle in the group sessions, for example, and you collectively, it's more educational, so you talk about what are stressors, etc.
Mm-hmm.
So you share your opinions, you share your experiences. It's a different dynamic because you get to know the opinions of other people instead of just being inside of your own head about your stressors.
Yeah. How long did it take you to get an appointment?
Not long at all. So this actually happens quite quickly because you look it up on the internet and then they give you a date when you when kind of the spaces open up and you register yourself at a certain date at a certain point. I think 8 a.m. on some random date.
Mm-hmm. This is for solo or for group?
That's for the group sessions.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And for the solo counseling, well, the way I did it, I knew the people involved through the group sessions. So I wrote an email, and that's how you can basically find.
Mm-hmm.
find
so
it.
like directly write to the head of this place, and they can answer you.
Yeah. I asked the therapist directly, and then they have their own emails, so you just write to them.
Yeah. what does a consultation look like? You already said that you sit around in the group session. Maybe you can describe the solo session as well?
Sure. The solo session, you come in and then you basically talk to a therapist for 20 to 30 minutes. And it's more questions based around your own life and what you're dealing with personally.
And what do you talk about in the groups?
Just general stressors, what we students experience and what kind of stressors we also have. I mean, we can all share, but there's a different aspect to it opposed to when you're just one-on-one with the therapist.
Okay. Do you have to be able to speak German?
Not necessarily. I mean, the language is German and you do have the sessions and probably the one-on-one therapy sessions also in German. It's definitely more beneficial when you speak German, but I guess you get the general idea of stressors and prevention and what you can do to balance it out, also if you don't speak the language.
If you don't mind sharing, why did you seek help from psychotherapeutic counseling?
Well, it was a time in my life where it was the not my first time at the first state exam, so there was a lot of stress involved around that. And I tried to, find different coping mechanisms and the right way to cope with your stress, because it only got higher and higher as the time went on there. And at the beginning of the semester, I told myself that you do whatever is possible in order for you to pass the exam.
Yeah. Did it help you?
I think it helped. The most helpful aspect was that you share your opinions and your experiences with other people, because every one of us has different stressors. Well, sometimes we also share stressors, but we also have different coping mechanisms.
Sure.
And in that way, it was very helpful to, see what stresses other people and how they cope with it. And then we gathered the information and everyone could sometimes see a different aspect or take a different message home. Yeah.
What is, in your opinion, the most common problem that students come to counseling with?
The most common problem for students is probably connected to their studies. However, there are so many stressors in life that not just exams, but also, many people said that they can't afford to live in Marburg, or they have housing problems, or there were different things involved with. There are different stressors, I would say, for students. And not all are connected to studies.
But you think the most common is probably the studies?
Probably.
But do you think you can talk about all the problems that, like any problem that I have, I can go there and talk about it?
Yeah, I think especially in a group where everybody seeks psychological help, you find like-minded people who, of course, share their opinions and are vulnerable themselves. So it's much more okay for them to listen to your vulnerabilities as well.
Yeah, like safe space you have.
Yeah.
Thank you. I just have one more question left. What are the tips that you could give us to improve and protect our mental health that probably you use and that helped you?
Well, for me, there are different coping mechanisms, and many of those we all gathered in this kind of group workshop. For me, running was a big part of it. That's when I first discovered it, actually, running for myself, which was during the first state exam. And I thought it was a good, generally physical exercise is quite good coping mechanism, because you let out all of your adrenaline and all your stress through that. But also when you just share your free time with friends, or you do some music or hobbies, anything that you really enjoy doing is good. And when you do speak to your friends, what I think is helpful is when you talk about your kind of concerns or deep fears, because chances that they also share these fears.
I'd probably also say, like, don't forget your own hobbies that you had before the stress. Like, a lot of people stop doing what they like because of the exams or because they study. And maybe you like running. If running were your hobby, like, maybe you shouldn't stop doing it only because you have an exam.
Exactly,
so that you can enjoy your life as well.
Yeah. So you find the time when you say, okay, I'll stop studying now and I won't stress myself about it, and just I'll choose to do physical exercise.
Yeah.
So you do have these time slots and you take breaks intentionally. That helps.
Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you.
Bye.
Infobox.
All right, here are some take-home messages for you. Be there for yourself. Take time to reflect. Get some rest when needed. Have clear structure in your day. Routine is so important. And get help when you need it.
This has been another episode of We Take You Places, the podcast for international students at the University of Marburg. For more episodes, videos, and much more, check out our university website at www.uni-marburg.de. Thanks for listening, and see you next time.